The following is an original Aliven podcast.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, the Truck Series chase is set. O'Reilly's, they've got another go round until they actually get to their chase, at least a few more. And for Cup, they have one last opportunity to try to make something happen in order to get into the 16-car field for the chase for the championship. And there's a lot of things that wound up happening in terms of the scheduling and in terms of a little bit of silly season. And we're going to recap it all right here on this episode of Gamers Talk NASCAR. As always, I'm Elijah Leonard here with you. To the left of me, that is my co-host Wyatt Walker. Underneath him, I'm not botching that this time. Underneath him is Sly. Underneath me is Nathan Stapleton. Gentlemen, what is going on? How we doing?
Doing all right, and just to correct you real quick, O'Reilly's have one more race as well.
Oh,
so
okay.
The final race of the regular season for both Cup and O'Reilly's, but I'm doing all right. Had a great birthday weekend, and now I'm ready to get back to see the final races of the regular season for both series.
For the first time, I can't say how long, I've actually had a great Monday.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. You know,
How about
obviously,
that?
some in our stuff that happened today, work actually went good. Was actually able to leave on time, but you know how that is, Elijah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But no, you know, like Wyatt said, you know, I'm ready to see how the playoff picture fully comes together.
I've definitely liked this whole chase thing being back, and I'm excited for the cut line for the top two series this weekend, and then I'm excited to see how the chase goes, because that's been the number one thing I've been looking forward to all year, really, is besides a few races here and there, when the chase was originally announced to come back, I was like, yep, I'm actually going to be excited about the fall now. When it was the playoff format, I could care less, to be honest. But now I actually care about September, October, and November for NASCAR, so I am very excited. But first, we got to get through Daytona.
I was going to go ahead and also say here, before I accidentally cut off Stapleton, why I did bring up the correction about the O'Reilly's regular season finale also being at the same time as Cup. That goes to show how well I've really memorized the O'Reilly series schedule. But all right, let's go ahead. I think there really isn't any other sort of things to really bring up here. So why don't we just go ahead and briefly talk about the New Hampshire weekend? And I want to say briefly because obviously the Truck Series chase is officially set. We'll talk about that once we get to Wyatt's segment. But as far as O'Reilly's and the Cup side, granted, O'Reilly's didn't race this past weekend. We still are probably going to review the point standings over there. And then the Cup side, well, it's going to be the same case in point, review the race that took place at New Hampshire and then go from there with the points. But the point side is probably going to be the one that probably the one segment that we're going to be very much so discussing in terms of, you know, what we think could happen at Daytona, the scenarios that need to happen for certain drivers in order to get in or at least get close or whatever it might be. So we're not going to really spend too much time reviewing the New Hampshire weekend. So with that said, ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about it. What do we think about the Loudon weekend?
I'd say it was pretty good for both series. We have officially, I'll talk more in depth about this when we get to my segment. We have all series has confirmed the regular season champions as Truck Series Lane Riggs, no surprise, has also won the race, is regular season champion for trucks, has the number one seed, and also Denny Hamlin has also clinched the regular season championship for the Cup Series. But all in all, the racing was pretty good. Truck-wise is kind of what we expected with the short track guys and the trucks always dominant, always showing up. But I think we were more surprised with the Cup Series side of who was leading up there and who's been up there, what we have in the other series. What do y'all think?
Yeah, I definitely I enjoyed this New Hampshire weekend a little bit more than the past. I definitely think the racing was better in both series, especially the Cup series. I felt like was a little bit better with the more horsepower and some aero stuff changes. I definitely think it's a lot better. There was a couple times in the Cup race that I thought we were gonna have a hell of a surprise winner. Than versus who actually won, but it was definitely very unique. Both races started in wet weather conditions, and I thought that was awesome. I love that we have that ability on short tracks because I love of how they were running literally the apron to the wall in wet weather tires. That was awesome.
That was
But
interesting.
yeah, I like that that we have that option, and for New Hampshire stands, I definitely liked it more as why it has a kitty cat. But I definitely like New Hampshire more than normal. So
I think Nanners is a little bit clingy right now, but one thing that the truck
He's
series,
crying at me for whatever reason.
one thing that the truck series though, I will talk about because like I will mention real fast. One thing that the truck series did not have that the Cup series did in terms of starting under the wet conditions is Carson Hocevar looping it around in turn 4 on the pace lap. Like this man was
that's when
going.
NASCAR knew that the track was too wet.
Like that, I think that was the number one indication that NASCAR was like, okay, yeah, we're not going to start the race. Instead, let's bring everybody down until the cell passes. And yeah, let's just go from there. But that was honestly hilarious. That was probably the funniest thing I've ever seen in all my time of watching NASCAR altogether. I mean, we've had several instances where we've had, several things happen under pace laps, whether it be before a race starts or in the middle of an event. Cough, cough, Juan Montoya, jet dryer incident 2012. But like, that's the big one that kind of pops in my head. That blows up in my mind, if you know what I mean. But no, like Hocevar just literally spinning around in turn 4 during the pace laps. It is something that the Cup Series had that the Truck Series did not. But with that said, though, definitely I'd say this is a really good weekend. As far as what both races brought to the table, I'm pretty sure you guys would agree with the same thing as well. Another guy that you want to highlight here real fast, 2 people that I want to highlight real quick, maybe 3, borderline 3. Josh Berry, once again, under pressure, showing that he really wants to stay in the Cup Series, or at least he wants to obviously show these guys, hey, I'm deserving of a ride. I definitely want to stay in Cup. Once again, a fantastic run for him. You could also say the same thing for Ryan Preece. So that's 2 short track aces that really, really flexed their muscles in the Cup race yesterday at the time that we're recording this. And then the third guy, once again, he got re-signed to Front Row Motorsports for next year. Noah Gragson. Top 10 effort for him, which is like, for me, as far as the prediction points, rather unfortunate that it happened. But overall, in the bigger picture, that definitely was, that was kind of awesome to see. Admittedly, that was awesome to see.
I think, though, every race for the rest of the season is like a job interview for Josh Berry. Granted, yeah, he's going to drive it like he stole it, and hopefully it lands him a ride, at least in the Cup Series.
I think, in my opinion, that we'll talk more about later, but I'd say it's more possible that he goes to O'Reilly more than he does Cup.
Yeah, I'm leaning towards what Billy probably will be able to find something in O'Reilly. I think definitely based off of the last 4 weeks, Bailey should be in NASCAR in a competitive team somewhere because he has
Absolutely.
been incredible the last 4 weeks.
Yeah, Barry has been on a roll, and like you said, like having the auditions he's had, I hope he gets somewhere good.
Well, that said, though, I think we might as well go ahead and talk about our results. Starting off with the truck series. Lane Riggs started first. He finished first. Led a race high from the looks of things of 106 laps. So you could easily tell who was the dominant guy out of the other drivers in the field. His teammate Chandler Smith finished right behind him in the second position. Caden Honeycutt third. You could easily tell who were the 3 best trucks, especially going into the chase. Stuart Friesen coming home fourth. Connor Zilic rounding out your top 5. Fun fact, by the way. Zilic started 4th. He finished 5th. The next guy, Tristan McKee, he started 5th and he finished 6th. How about that? Christopher Bell finishing in the 7th position. Then you got Daniel Hemrick finishing in 8th. Justin Haley, finally something went good for Dodge as Haley comes home in 9th, and Parker Eatman rounds out your top 10. From positions 11th on down to 20th, they go like this. Ty Majeski, Michael Christopher Jr. Who was he driving for? Wait a minute.
That's Stuart Friesen's team.
Really?
They had a 3rd truck. No joke. That's the 3rd truck for Stuart Friesen's team, and I was going to wait for you guys. I was going to wait for you to get to the 20th before I brought this up. Like, how about this? You get a 3rd truck for Stuart Friesen's team for Michael Christopher Jr. All 3 trucks, top 12.
That's awesome.
All 3 trucks, top 12.
That's
I don't know
awesome.
why, but I think it's really cool that Friesen is like expanding his truck team. Like the 62, I think has won like the majority of the races this year. I don't know, maybe the entire year. I don't know. And now the 72.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of crazy, and I find it very funny about it's the 52, 62, 72.
And I'm pretty sure if it had a 4th truck, it's not going to be the 42, unfortunately, but no doubt in my mind, I will not be surprised if it's 82.
I wouldn't be surprised either. Continuing on here, we got Grandin Finger, Jake Garcia, Corey LaJoy, Tyler Ankrum, Cole Butcher, Ben Rhodes, John Hunter Nemechek, and Brendan Queen, the top 20.
You talked about like how Dodge need a good run. You have 2 more Dodges in the top 20. And Corey LaJoy, 15th, a run that he needed, and then rookie Brendan Queen with a good 20th, top 20 finish.
Absolutely. 21st on down to 30th, however, looks like this. You got Tanner Gray, Connor Hall, Minnie Tyrell, Colin Brown, Dawson Sutton, Gio Ruggiero, Andreas Perez, Christian Eckes, Timmy Hill, and Connor Mosek, who is scored as the highest finishing driver out of those that were out of the race. Then you have Luke Baldwin and Landon Lewis. This is from 31st on down to 36th, by the way, with Landon Lewis being the last truck overall running on the racetrack. And then you have Gavin Boschel, Chris Wright, Patrick Emmerling, and Spencer Boyd, who went out of the race on lap 75. Now, let's go over our Cup Series results. Ryan Blaney, 3rd win of the season for him. He comes home, obviously, as the race winner, as I literally just said 5 seconds ago. Bubba Wallace, his buddy, finishing in the 2nd position. Unfortunately, locked up the left front, but that's all she wrote there. Josh Berry coming home in the 3rd position. Then you have Christopher Bell finishing in 4th. And then the other thing that I noticed here before I talk about it, car 5 finishing in P5, Kyle Larson. Now, here's the funny thing. Christopher Bell started 6th, then he finished 4th. Kyle Larson started 9th, and he finished 5th. Now, if you look on NASCAR.com, you can easily see 69. Nice. Ty Gibbs finish. You can see what I'm seeing. If you know, you know. Ty Gibbs, though, finishing in the 6th position. We're not even going to talk about his starting position. Denny Hamlin coming home in 7th. Tyler Reddick finishing in 8th. Ryan Preece finishing 9 spots better. That's twice as better as where he started in the 9th position. And Noah Gragson, as we talked about earlier, rounding out your top 10.
Tyler Reddick actually finishing in the top 10.
Also, ironic enough, Noah Gragson also finished 9 spots ahead of where he qualified.
Yes. 11th on down to 20th looks like this, though. You got Brad Keselowski, Austin Cindric. Funny enough, Cindric's old ride was right after, or Brad Keselowski's old ride was right going. It's Monday. Brad Keselowski's old ride trailed him, and Austin Cindric was chasing his old team. Funny enough. Then you have Zane Smith, Joey Logano, Alex Bowman, Michael McDowell, Daniel Suarez, Chris Buescher, Carson Hocevar, and SVG, your top 20.
I just realized this. I find it funny how the person who spun during the pace lap ended up having the fastest lap of the race.
That's funny.
I do feel bad for SVG, though, because when it rained, and when the track was wet at the start, he was cruising.
He was booming.
Yeah.
Booming.
Cruising, booming. He was gone. I think he got like a 5+ second lead at one point.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, it
and
was
then unfortunately,
actually, I think it was just a hair over 6.
it might have been 6.5 or something like that. But he was gone. But then unfortunately, I think when the track dried, then his car was not that good.
I personally think that SVG was in his element.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Because he's probably used to racing in the rain or wet weather conditions and road courses in Australia. So, but yeah, that because of SVG finishing in 20th and Preece getting in the top 10, that's definitely, as we will get to what's segment later, will definitely make things a lot more interesting when we get to Daytona.
Anyways, continuing on, 21st on down to 30th looks like this. You got Todd Gilliland, Cole Custer, AJ Allmendinger, Austin Hill, Chase Elliott. Man, a bad day for the Chases, as Chase Briscoe also finished in 26th. Ty Dillon, then you have Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Cody Ware, and William Byron, the top 30. Wow. That's actually kind of unfortunate that I do want to bring up as well, is that the only Hendrick car that legitimately had a good day, surprisingly enough, was the guy that we had sort of written off, is Kyle Larson. Everybody else, other than Alex Bowman, whom granted did finish 15th, not really that great, but Elliott and Byron had an even worse day.
Byron had a good day, but he had so much incident happen with him. He had equipment leave the pit box, and then a tire wasn't tired, so a caution came out because he lost the tire.
Literally lost it.
Off the car.
And the tire,
the
tire literally decided to become a contender
and finished better than him.
Yeah. Finally, though, from positions 31st on down to 40th, John Hunter Nemechek, whom, funny enough, was driving the 40 car to celebrate, I believe, Dollar Tree's 40th anniversary. This was just for that weekend, though, so he'll be going back to the 42 for the remainder of the season. He started 31st. He finished 31st. Austin Dillon, and then you have Eric Jones, who was the highest finishing driver who went out of the race. Then you have Riley Herbst. And then the other two Trackhouse cars of Connor Zilic, who unfortunately hit Riley Herbst in turn 3. And then Ross Chastain, who went out on lap 41.
Well, And from what I was seeing, if Connor Zilich would have kept going, I forgot who it was that he was behind.
I think it was Brad.
He would have drilled him.
Yeah.
So it was either drill somebody running or go the wrong direction and drill somebody that was, already going to be out of the race.
I'm pretty sure it was Brad. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure it was Brad Keselowski that he was riding behind, and he just couldn't stop. The time
it was just it was nothing he could have done in that spot.
Yeah.
And poor Ross, he was running good, but then he had I forgot what they said it was. It was a mechanical issue. Was it transaxle? I can't remember what it was.
I'm about to say we can just leave it at mechanical failure.
Yeah, mechanical failure, but it's like it sucks. And he needed a good race to be a contender. A little bit of spoiler: he is ineligible to make the chase now. No surprise, but that still sucks for him. But now we get to my segment of all the damn points. As Elijah noted at the beginning, we do have the chase set for the truck race. We have all 10 trucks confirmed. Poor Stuart Friesen, even though he finished 4th, great run for him. Another competitor was a little bit better than him. Got a few more spots more than he could. But let's review the 10 cars in the chase. No surprise to anyone. Top of the board is Lane Riggs with 6 wins. And trailing him by 25 points is second spot, Caden Honeycutt. Third by 35 is Chandler Smith. Fourth with 40, Christian Eckes. 5 with 45, Gio Ruggiero. 6 with 50, Ty Majeski. 7 with 55, Grant Enfinger. Daniel Hemrick actually moved up a spot, down by 60. In 8th and in 9th is triple nines, Ben Rhodes, 65. And the last truck to get in is Tyler Ankrum, 70. What do we think of this chase field, y'all?
I think it's a stacked chase. Now at this point, it literally can be anyone.
Like, for me, I know that Lane Riggs has won so much this year, and same with Caden Honeycutt with 2, but he should have more than 2. One driver that I've been really high on this year that I don't feel like anyone has been talking about, either Fox or Hughes. Yes, I'm calling you guys out on this. Christian Eckes has no wins, but he's been like top 4 in points all season.
Eckes has been a driver that has been a quiet on the radar, but has been top 5 in points.
If something crazy happens for like guys like Caden Honeycutt, Lane Riggs, etc., we can't count out Christian Eckes to possibly be in the mix.
Well, I was also going to say as well as maybe I do agree with Eckes possibly could play a little bit of spoiler, but Gio Ruggiero could also do the same thing because remember Ruggiero is also another guy that has also throughout the season really started to come into his own. So I feel like it's definitely the top 5 that can really make the most noise. Anybody from 6th on down is kind of iffy to me. Ty Majeski, he's had his moments under the sun, although consistency has really, has kind of been the thing that has kept him in the chase and is obviously what earned him that 6th spot. I can't remember where Enfinger. Oh yeah, the Lime Rock. Enfinger's win at Lime Rock was honestly pretty cool, but I feel like anybody from 6th on down could do well pretty consistently. The only 2 that I feel like are probably going to stay exactly where they are Ben Rhodes and Tyler Ankrum.
Agreed.
Honestly, Ben Rhodes this is not the same Ben Rhodes that we've been used to for the last several years. How many truck championships has he won? Two throughout his career. And since like 2023 or 4, he's really faded. Severely faded. And it pains me to see that Ben Rhodes is performing the way that he has over the last several years, but I just don't think that Ben Rhodes is going to have like that Tony Stewart-esque sort of chase season where he had a miserable regular season, but then comes out and wins half the races in the chase and then ultimately wins the championship in the process. Not happening. Tyler Ankrum, he's staying right where he is. Simply put.
Ankrum barely got in, but you mentioned Edfinger for the moment. He was below the cutoff for majority of the regular season.
He was.
That win at Lime Rock helped him out to get up there, but he was slowly making his way up.
Yes.
We talked about Grant Enfinger being a sleeper to make the chase, and then he made that official after. I think he was already locked. He was already locked in before New Hampshire, but like it's good to see him back up here where he should be racing. And after that, let's go ahead and move on up. I will go ahead to review O'Reilly since we are coming up to their penultimate rate to the last race for them. From 1st through 8th are already locked in by points. No surprise, Justin Allgaier, the regular season champion, way above with 451. Quapple, 213. Creed, 185. Jesse Love, 152. Corey Day, 130. Randy Jones, 121. Austin Hill, which we'll talk about him later, 119. And Sammy Smith, 95. And then the 4 cars, my apologies. We got done talking about trucks.
They're all trucks.
Yeah, we got 3 truck divisions.
4 cars who have not been confirmed yet has been Parker Retzlaff with 46, Sam Mayer 19, and then an interesting that tied for 1 point above is Williams Walsh and Brent Cruz, and 1 behind is Taylor Gray, and then Roger Cruz down by 20 is the bubble to get the final 4 spot. And I think we talked about it when we last reviewed Xfinity, but we think Parker Retzlaff, as long as he's
O'Reilly,
he'll be fine. Sam Mayer's an interesting wild card, but it's going to be an interesting battle with the JGR Toyotas and then Raja Caruth.
Like, I know the Cup has a possibility of something changing in the cut line, but the O'Reilly series is definitely the most interesting.
Yeah.
Because, like, I think Retzlaff will be okay. Mayer might be okay, but if something happens to Mayer, then that could be interesting for the final 3 spots. And, like, if Lucho gets racing, what do you do? Because you have 3 cars, and there could be a scenario where if they all work together and they bump out Sam Mayer, then all 3 of them could get in. But if that's not the case and they have to battle amongst themselves, what do they do? And then, like, watch a Cruz as well if something crazy happens with him. So, like, the O'Reilly series regular season finale is going to be very intense this weekend.
I personally think that, just from looking off your sheet, that I think Parker Retzlaff is got nothing to worry about. He's shown it at other, like, bigger tracks, I should say.
Yeah.
Like Atlanta. So I personally think that the only way Raja Caruth can get in is if something happens to Sam Mayer, William Sawalich, and Brent Cruz.
We talked about this off stream a bunch of times. I think we mentioned it on stream, but it's like between O'Reilly and Cup, O'Reilly has the biggest cut line. I'm butchering one word. Y'all know what I'm trying to say. This is the more intense cut line than it is Cup.
Yeah, and I know you're gonna get to the cut points here in a minute, but just from looking at it, this is the race to watch. I honestly think between Cup and O'Reilly's is the one to watch more. I personally think, just because of the shortness of the points for the remaining spots. So
Yeah, definitely. I think, like, definitely the O'Reilly series is going to be the race to watch, and I think Cup will be interesting, not necessarily for the chase battle, but I think Cup has a new package, but
mhm.
but I don't know who's gonna make it, but I'm gonna sit back and relax, and if Pokeletsoft gets enough stage points and locks in after stage 1 and stage 2, then I don't have anything to worry about. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting.
For anybody that is wondering exactly why Wyatt and Sly are laughing, we will talk about it. We will talk about it when we get to our predictions.
Is there anything you like to add before I go?
I think looking at the point situation, I would agree with this, because here's the thing. Although Retzloff is 46 points above the cutoff line, it looks like he's going to be just fine. We have to remember that when it comes to the big one, it's not a matter of if, it's when.
Yeah.
And for Parker Retzloff being involved in a big one, it's not a matter of when, it's a matter of if, when you really think about it. So we have to remember that Retzloff, something could still happen to him at any given moment of a race. And, he could potentially fall out of the top 12. But with the season that Retzloff has had, I would most certainly hope that it doesn't go to complete waste after Daytona, well, especially in the middle of the regular season finale. For Sam Mayer, this is the race where I feel like if he's going to have any sort of chance of at least maintaining where he's at, he's got to pick up stage points. You could say the same thing for all three of the Gibbs guys that are literally 1 point apart from each other. Literally one. Obviously, Sawalich and Cruz are tied. And then you have Gray that's 1 point, but this is close. This is still very, very close between those three Gibbs guys alone. And I'm shocked that it's not Brent Cruz that's locked in, but it's Brandon Jones that gets to go to La La Land over here, and he's locked in, especially that win at Chicagoland, assisting him in that regard. But that's just my personal opinion. Anyways, as far as those three, I think it's going to be this is definitely going to be the race to watch in terms of the Gibbs guys. Carruth could be a sleeper. He probably is going to be the sleeper in this whole deal, because he could still pick up all those stage points and potentially, maybe, and I'm personally hoping, wins the race and just swoops around Gray, Cruz, and even Sawalich all at once to nab a spot in the top 12.
I think, though, that Carruth could be the Cinderella story of this year's chase.
By switching between the Junior Motorsports 88 and then the Jordan Anderson 32, and him still end up get locked into the chase, that would make us wonder what if Carruth was in the 88 the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
How will he do? But I'm gonna have a little bit of fun before we go. Before we talk about Cup, I'll call your name, and I want you guys to say who you think will be in. Who do you think will be the four to officially lock in? Who you think will be locked into the chase for the O'Reilly?
So we got a name. We got a name with 4 people, right?
The 4 people, yes. And I'll start with my co-host Elijah.
He's not even hearing anything.
He's not here?
No, he's not hearing anything because he said 1 second.
Okay, well, okay. While we do that, we'll start with you, Sly. We'll start with
All
you
right.
then.
Out of the ones that are not locked in,
Correct.
my picks for the final 4 spots will be Parker Redsloff, and this is in no particular order. Roger Caruth,
Ooh.
Oh,
Brent Cruz, and shockingly Sam Mayer.
So you have both JGR cars with a win out of the
Yes,
chase. That's interesting.
because I personally think Granite Sawalich has gotten a win. He's obviously been caught up in a lot of accidents throughout this season. I think in Daytona, I don't think anything different. I think we will have like a Talladega big one at Daytona, and sadly, I think he might be involved in it. And same with Taylor Gray.
Are you good? Are you good now, Elijah?
Yeah, I'm good. 100%.
All right.
I just had to
You're
I had
up.
to walk away so that way I could take off my hoodie because I was
you're good.
roasting in that for some reason. Okay.
Go for it, bud.
But I will agree with Parker Retzloff 100%. You know, again, this is easily the best season that Retzloff has ever had in his entire O'Reilly Series career. It would be heaven forbid, by the way, that he does not make the chase after having the season that he's had.
Yeah.
Brent Cruz can also agree with that one too. Caruth could definitely be, obviously, as we talked about, could be the guy that swoops around and swoops in and actually gets the spot. And the guy that I feel like could nab the last spot, you know, honestly, kind of leading more towards Taylor Gray in this whole deal. Sam Mayer, he hasn't had the greatest season, but he hasn't had the worst one either. But I just don't think Daytona's going to treat him all that well. I think he'll probably get involved in what Sly said, the huge one, essentially. And he's going to get caught up in it, and it's going to take him out.
Stapleton?
so I'm going to continue the unanimous decision. Parker Retzloff will make it. I'm going to say Sam Mayer's going to make it. I'm going to say Brent Cruz will make it. And I'm going to say Roger Caruth makes it.
Pretty much the same as me.
There you go.
I'm going to continue on the bandwagon of Parker Retzloff and Brent Cruz. I do agree with both of them. I do think we'll make it in. I don't have as much. I'm with Elijah on this, but I don't have as much confidence as Sam Mayer going into Daytona. I also got Taylor Gray making it in. I have more confidence with Roger Caruth than I have William Sawalich. So I'm basically agreeing with Elijah's. I got Retzloff, Cruz, Gray, and Caruth making it. Let's move up to the Cup Series as my thing start. So we have currently 14 drivers. Well, I technically have 14 drivers. The 14's not technically locked in, but he's literally locked. He literally just needs like 2 points and he's locked in. I'll get to him in a minute, but as we go over, Denny Hamlin is the regular season champion. No surprise whatsoever by everyone. Despite Ryan Blaney winning that race, it didn't stop him from Denny Hamlin clinching the regular season champion. With him having a 446 points above, Ryan Blaney 369, nice. Ty Gibbs 325, Tyler Reddick 305, and I'd say the battle. I don't even know there's a battle for second. I think Ryan Blaney has second kind of sir.
Yes and no.
Yes and no, but I mean, you gotta think we're going to Daytona, the last few Daytona races, but I digress. But I'd say the battle for the next slot has to be like Ty Gibbs or Tyler Reddick try to get third. But then you got that jump, which the fours are all locked going to be top four. But Christopher Bell, still the top winless driver of them, is fifth with 183. Teammate Briscoe with 172. Kyle Larson and Stapleton will be happy for this one. He is locked into the chase with 153 above. Larson, after we talked about, we were worried about him. He had 2 good races, and that's what helped him lock in the chase.
I told you I was not too worried.
Funny enough, Larson is between 2 chases. He's in a chase sandwich. Briscoe being 6th, and then 8th is Larson's teammate, Chase Elliott, being 152. And much to my dislike, Joey Logano is locked into the chase with 127 above. Chris Buescher is locked in with 121. And then, despite him having not a good race at New Hampshire, Carson Hocevar is also locked in with 117 points. William Byron, despite being 3 laps down and losing a tire, Byron is locked in by 89 points. Daniel Suarez is the last official locked in by 83. And then the one I consider kind of a lock, even though he's not officially, he just needs 2 points. Bubba Wallace is only 75 points. You can get up to 65 points a race. Bubba Wallace just needs to have a great stage 1. That's it. Bubba Wallace is locked in. He just needs to get stage points. 4 drivers technically in, I say technically for 1 driver, technically in the fight still for the last 2 spots is Austin Cindric, currently above with 44 points above. SVG holding that final spot with only 31 below. But here's the thing: Ryan Preece is first one down 31, is close enough in this fight, but the one is still mathematically in, but logically I'd be surprised. Brad Keselowski is still in it by 66 points, and everyone else is ineligible to make the chase.
I think the one that's going to be out besides Keselowski, Cindric.
Really?
Obviously, if we go back to the Daytona 500, I know that's during the day and this race is at night. And me being a Floridian, 2 totally different styles with the temperature in the weather. You have the blistering heat during the day, and then not so hot, but still hot for the night race. But you got to take effect of SVG finished, I believe, what was it, 5th in the 500?
SVG finished 30th.
Okay, so I was wrong. Because obviously, as the season went on, he started showing more and more potential on the ovals.
Yeah.
So I think he's going to squeak that last spot, that 16th and final spot. I'm going to guess maybe by 5 points. So since Wyatt's distracted a little bit.
It is your turn, Elijah.
So obviously nothing really much to discuss here in terms of, everybody that's currently locked in, because there's not much room to breathe here in terms of anybody who is not safe. So honestly, in terms of what I'm looking at here, I'm going to say if, this is a very big if, by the way. I don't know, actually. Hold on. Should anything happen at Daytona, Kez could make a charge by literally I think what Kez would have to do, though, in order for that to happen, sweep both stages and win the race.
With the fastest lap.
with the fastest lap, which is at Daytona impossible to do. There is no way, unless if Keselowski pulls off probably what would be the greatest comeback in one night by sweeping every single category, there's no way he makes it.
Agreed.
As much as I will want that to happen, yeah. That's very hard to do at Daytona.
I will say this, if Keselowski does that, I don't know what I'd do.
You gotta come up with something.
Yeah, I gotta come up with something. I don't know. We'll figure that out later. But as far as like who I think could swoop in or at least keep or take the final two spots, with the way that things have kind of been going for him in the tail end of the season, honestly, Cindric could hold on to keep his spot in the chase. The final position, I really don't think there's going to be much of a change here. Honestly, it's still, in my mind, going to be Cindric and SVG that hold on to those two spots. I just don't think Ryan Preece will do it because of the reasons that we're going to talk about later. Kez, I still stand by this, even though we talked about it like 92 seconds ago. Like, if Kez pulls off the greatest run that we've ever seen at Daytona by sweeping all of the stages, winning the race, and nabbing that bonus point for the fastest lap, there's no way that Kez makes it in. But it would be a miracle if that happened, though.
I'm gonna agree with both of you so far for Sly and Elijah for the most part. I don't, as much as I would love for it to be with RFK somehow pulls it off if Brad and Police make it into the chase, I don't think that will happen. But I don't know. Something tells me I just don't feel confident in Austin Cindric. I don't have confidence in Cindric. So I think what could happen is I think SVG will make it. And I think Brad could push Police to the front and get it gonna finish where Police makes it over Austin Cindric. I think Brad might pull the car on a move and try all he can to get one Police in. So I think it will be SVG and Ryan Police getting in by like less than 5 points over Austin Cindric. I think Cindric will get involved in the big one.
I can see this going multiple different ways, and I'm trying to think. The one I'm concerned about, I know he's been on a hell of a run, but we always have to think about the looming big one, and any of these guys can get in there. Y'all have him making it in, but I'm worried about SVG. It's like, yes, he's been running good on super speedways and stuff, but I just don't know. I'm not as confident on super speedways with SVG as y'all are. Granted, he can prove me wrong, and I kind of hope he does, but at this moment, I'm not that confident in SVG. Now, I have more confidence in super speedways in Austin Cindric than I do SVG. Granted, Austin Cindric does have, is it just 2 super speedway wins? And like Elijah's saying, Cindric's been on a run. So I'm officially saying Austin Cindric is going to be in. It's between SVG and Ryan Preece to me because I can see both sides of the coin. Ryan Preece ain't good at Daytona because he's been more involved in like trying to be flying than anything. SVG, I'm just not as confident in super speedways. So I'm gonna be. I get my gut is wanting me to be the oddball out. My gut wants me to be the oddball out. I think, weirdly enough, I have SVG out. Like, I don't trust SVG enough on unless he gets a good amount of stage points to like more concern and get himself more and a better points cushion. I just worry about SVG when it comes to super speedways a lot more than I do Austin Cindric and Ryan Preece.
Yeah.
And it also didn't help that what Elijah mentioned is like he probably led, but he also finished 30th one lap down. Granted, he finished, but he was still 30th. And that could be anybody, obviously. It's Daytona, but just with Penske having pretty good at the second Daytona race. And don't forget, I think Ryan Preece has won a dual race, if I'm not mistaken. I know Brad has, but I think Ryan's either been up there or close. I don't know.
Maybe.
Maybe. I think he's been pretty competitive, though.
He's been competitive.
RFK's always been good at super speedways.
That's why I'm going to lean more towards Ryan Preece making a surprising comeback and getting RFK 2 cars in it. So I'm weirdly enough for me, I have SVG out. I got Cindric and Preece making it. That concludes the Cup, the NASCAR side of points. Now we get to our points, and unfortunately for 3 of us, Sly still holds top of the board, still gaining his points lead, despite picking Cup drivers, is still getting the half points. He's almost at 100 points. He's almost triple digits. He's at 99 points. 6 in front of Elijah, 7 in front of me, and 9 in front of Stapleton.
I'm laughing because there is a possibility that Sly could get full on shutout this weekend.
Never know. It's Daytona.
I think with that being said, that will conclude my segment of all the damn points.
All right. So that said, let's get on down into our breaking stories that transpired all throughout last week and even heading into today. At the time that we're recording this on August 24th, 2026, 10:09 p.m. Yes, we are getting very oddly specific with the time, by the way. So first off, we had several different track confirmations, and Wyatt, I'm pretty sure, has been on top of it all, and even Sly too, has definitely gotten the scoop. 2 things that I definitely want to point out here and regarding the truck series, and why I can definitely handle the rest, is that Trucks is returning in one place, debuting in another. Trucks is returning at the Canadian Tire Motorsports Park, which,
hell yeah,
happy to see that. First visit there since 2019. We've had some fantastic finishes at Mosport over the last several years, and man, we're getting ready to have some more of those. Hopefully kind of similar to what we had in the early to mid 2010s with Chase Sawyer versus Ty Dillon, and even that very awesome finish between Armand Quiroga and Ryan Blaney. Talk about, does anybody remember that? Man, that's a flashback for me. But the second one, the debut, this one's going to be interesting. I think I'm actually more excited for this than I was for the Clash here for the Cup Series. The Trucks are heading to Bowman Gray next year for a points race.
I think that's the first ever points race for Bowman Gray.
I do believe, if I remember correctly, I do apologize for cutting you off, Stapleton. I do believe the Cup Series way back in the day used to race at Bowman Gray. This is for a long time ago. I'd say probably back in like the 40s and the 50s, for sure. The 50s for sure. I could be wrong. I'm even trying to look it up. I'm even trying to look it up myself. Here it is. I found it. The last points race that NASCAR had ever held was 1971.
Wow.
56 years ago.
Wow.
Damn. You know what would be really, really cool? If they get like a local Bowman Gray champion in a truck for that.
Well, I mean,
yeah,
they did with what was it, Burt Myers?
Yeah, for
For
cut
granted for
Yeah.
the
clash.
clash and all that, but
I think it'd be cool to put him in a truck. Honestly,
Yeah.
put him in a
That's what
truck. I think you could even get some of the other modified guys in there. Maybe you could get like Andy Seiss, the Bonsignors of Kyle and Justin Bonsignor. You could even get Ryan
And Alex
Preece in
Bonsignor.
there. I mean, hell, why
I
not?
almost said Alex.
Why
What about
not?
Alex?
Why not? Throw Alex in there, dude. That'd be so cool to see Alex finally live out his dream of being like. Granted, he is a part of the NASCAR scene as a crew member. At least working for, if I remember correctly, Viking Motorsports.
Really?
Yeah, but like, that'd be so cool to see him live out his dream and racing a truck at Bowman Grade, though. That'd be so cool.
Yeah, just have like a full. Like, I really hope, like, I would imagine that they might do something like Eldora in the past, where they might do like heat races and stuff. If they do that, yeah.
Damn.
If they do that, just have like a bunch of people show up. Have like Tricon have a fifth or sixth truck. Have front row have like 3 trucks. Have like Nice have another truck. Have the Wisp will have a 5th truck. Just have a bunch of different one-offs for Bowman Gray. Like Bowman Gray could be fairly special if everyone goes all in and all on board with it.
I mean, it's gonna be special regardless.
Well, I know, but it can be fairly special.
Oh yeah,
100%.
If everyone goes all in. Speaking of which, Tony Stewart, please have Eldora come back to the NASCAR Truck Series. I loved that race in the 2010s. Thank you.
All right, so there's been a few more tracks that has been confirmed, and we have our full chase confirmed as well for the next year's as well. The 2 tracks that has been confirmed, we have Kansas coming back for 2 races. We have one being October 3rd. We have 5 races in October, gentlemen. 5 races in October next year.
Oh yeah.
With Talladega being on Halloween.
Oh God.
Halloween night.
Ooh.
And while we're
more scary than Talladega on Halloween. Ooh.
To continue on with Kansas, their other date, their spring date will be in May 9th. Other notable ones is to get back, I'd say 2 big ones. It's like we finally know what Chicago race is going. Chicagoland is back. Another year.
Thank God.
And here's the kicker.
2 years in a row.
It's the last race of Prime. Last race for Prime. So we have the Coke 600 starting it, and Chicagoland is ending the 5-race stretch on Amazon Prime.
Don't get me wrong, the Chicago street course was cool and all, but I much rather would have a permanent oval that is already made in Chicagoland Speedway over a street course. At least for Chicago. Like if we have a street course anywhere else, fine. But for Chicago, for like the Chicago area, just go to Chicagoland.
To continue on, we have Pocono, which is not anything I've seen got confirmed, but NASCAR.com confirmed it, so I'll go ahead and mention it. It is slotted at June 13th. And the big one, and I'm going to save it for last because I'm going to list off the chase real quick. We know a lot of these, but I'm going to save the last one for last one. We got Richmond, Watkins-Glen, New Hampshire, Kansas, Vegas. By the way, these are all in the exact order. Charlotte, Phoenix, Talladega, Martinsville, and the championship race is back at Homestead 2 years in a row.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Second.
That is a track that should never. Granted, we had some great races at Phoenix. Don't get me wrong, but the championship race, I know Sly's watched watched longer than any of us. He can argue about a different track, but like for us three, Homestead has always been the championship race. We've always loved it as a championship race. It should never have moved, in my personal opinion. I think some of y'all can agree with that.
I honestly, like, before they even raised it and gave it more banking, Homestead was still a great track to end things on.
Yep.
You know, but with them obviously adding banking, it made it more exciting. So yeah, I do agree. Miami Homestead, they should have never put a rotation in for a regular season or the season finale.
Yeah.
And the last thing I want to mention before we continue on to the next thing, so I could be done here. We have 4 tracks that have not confirmed the spots yet. That was in the schedule last year, which hopefully they all show up by this week. Probably by the time this video is out, we may have a few, and I'll review it next Monday, pre-record. But the 4 tracks: Michigan, Nashville, Sonoma, and Indy.
Yeah.
Are the 4 tracks had confirmed dates yet? I have a prediction of where they go. I'm not going to go into all of that, but that leaves only. But if we look at the schedule, that's only 1 track left that has not been confirmed. So I don't think we got the time to or do like a guess on what the final spot is. But it's like we have 1 mystery date for a spot, and that's not even counting. We have our Easter break date.
Yeah.
As well. That's the only break, by the way. We don't have 2 breaks. Only 1. If you believe that.
Yeah.
So 4 tracks and a mystery. We may have a return of either Mexico or Coronado. Who knows?
Who knows?
That's going to end it for me.
As far as the big piece of news that wound up getting dropped on us, this is kind of predictable in a sense, because for a while we had been talking about this news piece for a while, for like ever since he came up to Cup and had essentially taken over Kyle Busch's ride. He had since, obviously what happened back in May. And we had kind of been thinking, well, who's going to, is Austin Hill going to be in that car? Is somebody else going to come in and race that car for next year? Are they going to retire it? What are they going to do? Well, the answer has been revealed to us as RCR announced that Austin Hill will be staying in that car and go full time in 2027 in the number 33. So we can easily kind of get that, get some of our theories out of the way in terms of who would be driving the 33. But now we know that the O'Reilly Series side is completely wide open. So first off, chat me up on your guys' thoughts on Austin Hill staying in the 33 and going up to Cup full time in 2027, and who we think could be the potential guy that comes in behind Austin Hill going into 2027. Hi, this is Elijah from the present day, letting you guys know that not even just 2 days after we had talked about this, it's almost like Richard Childress Racing was listening to the podcast, or at least listening to the pre-recording somehow, some way, because Carson Brown and Chandler Smith both got confirmed to drive the 2 and the 21 cars for next year. So just definitely wanted to bring that up as well. And not only that, their thoughts on, Austin Hill going into the 33. They thought, well, this kind of was bound to happen. And then they also theorized that Josh Berry could also go down to the Truck Series in the 38 for Front Row Motorsports in case if that deal with O'Reilly's didn't work out. Turns out that's not going to be the case here for Josh Berry going down to O'Reilly's. So just wanted to speed run everybody's thoughts. And now let's go ahead and fast forward to previewing Daytona. But with that said, gentlemen, I think this is the perfect time to segue. It's time to talk about the regular season finale for both O'Reillys and the Cup Series at Daytona. Both divisions have one last chance to try to make something happen, to go big or go home. Gentlemen, what are we looking for out of the Daytona weekend for both O'Reillys and Cup?
Bunch of chaos. With it being Daytona, it's always chaos, always big ones looming, and the fact that we're in how the chase bubble is, how much it is, especially in the O'Reilly series. This is going to be one of the best battles yet, and I cannot wait.
I definitely agree. I am very much looking forward to the O'Reilly series for that chase battle, and I'm curious to see if how that new package works for the Cup Series. But I'm looking forward to Daytona, and hopefully it's a fun one.
It's going to be the biggest hard hitting fight that we've seen. Because with both series being so close in points for the final few spots for the chase, we're known to see tempers fly at like Bristol, Martinsville, North Wilkesboro. We rarely ever see it at Daytona. So I think patience is at an all-time low. The intensity and the egos and attitudes are going to be at an all-time high.
Oh, yeah.
So I think personally, this is... I don't think we may see many cars make it out of Daytona. Granted, it's a drafting track, but a few people trying to get these remaining spots.
Absolutely.
I think those ones are going to be the hungriest out of the entire fields of both series.
Absolutely. But all right, I think with that said, it's time. It's not Vader time, but it's time to get on down into our predictions here. So, with that said, for those that are brand new to the show and are not exactly sure how we make our picks, here's how we make them. We give you a driver who we think is going to win. Pretty self-explanatory. The driver to stay away from is the driver that hasn't been doing well the last couple of weeks, or we're just coming up to a track where they don't perform all that well at, whether statistically or in general. The dark horse is the exact opposite. Gentlemen, one last race in the regular season. It has essentially come down to this. Gentlemen, let's get the party started. Sly, you're up first.
All right. So, obviously, I already put mine in, like 3 out of the 4 of us did. My dark horse, and making it into the chase in the O'Reilly series, I'm picking Roger Caruth. My driver to stay away from, Blaine Perkins. And my driver to win is the regular season champion. I'm taking Justin Allgaier.
I like it.
This is and now for the Cup Series, where they are praying to God I get shut out. My dark horse, and making it into the chase, is SVG. I think he does turn it around. Elijah's going to be happy with my stay away. Noah Gragson. And my driver to win, he won the Daytona 500. Taking Tyler Reddick.
Stapleton, you are up next.
All right. For the legendary O'Reilly Auto Parts series.
You pressed the button for yourself, but not for Sly, which is crazy.
No, he
Not
just
to,
thought.
mention, not to mention he times it better for himself than any of us, by the way.
That's true.
He's more late for Elijah than anyone else.
I feel like this is on purpose.
Hey, I forgot O'Reilly's was off for a couple weeks, so I forgot. So my dark was I'm gonna go and I'm gonna agree. I can't believe I'm saying this. I'm gonna agree with. Never mind.
I'm gonna agree with never mind.
Never mind. Never mind. My dark horse is Pucker Westhoff. I don't care. My dark horse is Pucker Westhoff. My stay away, Patrick Starpoli. I feel like he's always in the damn wet. So.
I feel like he's always in
He's
the
always
way.
in the damn.
And my driver to win, I'm gonna go with a RCR aligned car. I'm gonna go with Jesse Love to get the win.
Okay.
Alright.
Shocker, I didn't pick Austin Hill. And then for the Cup Series, my dark horse, Ryan Priest, since he will get in. What? What,
If you
do
know,
you
you
think?
know.
My stay away. My stay away. I'm gonna go with. Okay, this is Saint Smith.
Okay.
And my driver to win. He got second last week at New Hampshire. I think he'll do one better. Bubba Wallace will win.
I like that.
Interesting.
It's actually a good deal.
And I do play 23-11 Real Sweep Daytona, but it won't be title red.
Alrighty. Wyatt, you are up next.
Alrighty, I got mine pretty O'Reilly. Honestly, it's pretty basic. My dark horse, Jesse Love. My driver stay away from. I mentioned it before, and I chose about the driver I think might be out. I don't have all that. I have all that confidence in Sam Mayer, so Sam Mayer's my dark horse. I mean, in my winner, it's hard to not pick a guy who's dominant on the super speedways in the O'Reilly series, which this will be the last year unless he makes some part-time starts. I gotta continue with the Austin Hill, my winner. Now for the Cup Series, I agree he's going to do good. I don't think he's going to win, but I believe he'll do good. I got Bubba Wallace as my dark horse. My driver to stay away from, I am sorry, Stapleton, Kyle Larson. He's locked in, he's fine, but super speedways and Larson, I'm just not that confident with. My driver to win, he has won 2 of the last 3, if I'm not mistaken, fall Daytona race. He won last year in an epic finish.
Yep.
The starters being 4 wide behind him. He just won. It ain't going to help him get the regular season, but it's going to help him a little bit. I mean, Brian Blaney is going to go back to back.
I like it.
To be a contender for the championship.
I like it. I like it. But alrighty, folks, it is officially my turn for the
Oh, O'Reilly. auto parts series.
At Daytona, my picks are in. For my driver to win, I decided to get a little bit ballsy with these predictions here. Just a little bit, not a whole lot, but just a little bit for the O'Reilly series. My driver to win, I decided to go with Sheldon Creed as my guy to win, because Creed, I think all year this year, has shown tremendous amount of speed. I think when you really think about it, besides what was a couple of years ago, this is definitely his best season yet. For the obvious reason of, you know, he got a win this year at Atlanta. So, although this is a different track, different track, similar style of racing, unfortunately, because Atlanta is not a super speedway, no matter how badly NASCAR and Fox and Kevin Harvick and whoever else wants to shove it down your throat. I'm going to say Sheldon Creed is my driver to win. My driver to stay away from is Harrison Burton. I just, was thought of somebody. I was like, all right, Harrison Burton. But my dark horse, there's a chance that he could win, but also there's a chance that he might not. But I still think he'll do great regardless. I'm going to say Austin Hill is going to be my dark horse pretty easily. All right, I got to actually go ahead and pull out the entry list for this one, so that way I can say it. And that's actually the wrong entry list. And now it's time for your main event, the 68th annual Coke Zero Sugar 400 at the Daytona International Speedway for the NASCAR Cup Series. Here we go. My driver to win, I decided to go with a little bit of a shock factor here, and I picked Zane Smith as my driver to win.
Okay.
My driver to stay away from, I chose Ryan Preece because, and we have liftoff. Ryan Preece and Daytona just do not mix, but airplanes and Ryan Preece do. But my dark horse, I'm going to go with somebody who I feel like may have a potential opportunity. Wyatt, although we talked about in the points during the points segment, didn't entirely agree with this. I feel like it's possible. SVG is going to be my dark horse. Granted, he's gotten better at the ovals. Super speedway racing, I feel like could definitely use a little bit of work, but I feel like tonight could be the night where maybe something could go right for SVG. So with that, he's my dark horse. But alrighty, gentlemen, we've done everything we needed to do. We have reviewed Loudon. We've gone over the point situations. We've gone over our breaking stories, and we have previewed our regular season finale for O'Reilly's and Cup at Daytona. So one final question. Any last words before we get the regular season finale underway?
Let's figure out who's going to be in the chase.
Let the chaos begin. What the?
And there...
Dear God.
And there is Stapleton's thoughts right there. Alrighty.
Daytona.
And that pretty much is going to do it for us. Thank you guys so much for watching and or listening to this episode of GTN. If you are brand new and not exactly sure, if you're brand new and you like what you see or hear, depending on which platform you're on. If you're on Spotify, be sure to hit that green follow button so you don't miss a future stream. If you're watching this live on YouTube, be sure to hit that like button and be sure to consider subscribing so you don't miss future episodes at 6 p.m. Eastern Time every Thursday night on YouTube and as well as Spotify. On behalf of Stapleton, Wyatt Walker, my co-host, and Sly, I'm Elijah Leonard signing out, and we will catch you guys on the very next episode of Gamers Talk NASCAR.
Thanks for listening to tonight's episode of Gamers Talk NASCAR. Really hope you guys enjoyed. Be sure to hit that follow button so you don't miss a future episode throughout the NASCAR season. And as always, we'll catch you on the next one every Thursday night at 6 p.m. Eastern Time.